Chapter 378. Initially, Ydir had thought that perhaps there was a reason that made it difficult to publicly reveal Helem's surname, only introducing her first name. However, this situation far exceeded Ydir's expectations. If she were the head of the Imperial Magic Department of the Or Empire, her skills would be on par with the elder archmages at the top of the Pearl Tower. In an era when most mages found it difficult to cast even a single spell, not everyone was so constrained. Some of the elders in the Pearl Tower they had met in his previous life knew how to use impressively powerful elemental magic. Ydir had also considered the possibility that, like Thais Yulman, the expert on monsters, Helem might have been granted a high position due to her outstanding research ability. However, unlike the several elders in the Pearl Tower, there was only one position for the head of the Imperial Magic Department. No matter how excellent her research skills might have been, it would not have been enough for her to obtain that position. The fact that someone who had once held the prestigious title was now living in seclusion in remote Peleta, hiding both her honor and surname, and being content with merely being called grandmother, was hard to believe. However, the calm reactions of Mick Shuden and Nathan Zuckerman made it seem all the more real. Anyway, it was fortunate that Helem said that neither much time nor manpower was needed for preparation. Ydir was determined to use this opportunity to find not only the key to recovering his own body, but also a solution to the issue related to Kishir's vessel. Since we are on the subject, let's try today. Pharmacist, it seems like you'll have to be with us. Is that okay? Anon sighed softly, but did not refuse Mick's cheerful words. Call me Anon, not pharmacist. All right, Anon, that's as refreshing as your revolutionary idea for treatment. Nathan Zuckerman left early to prepare to leave, and Kishir engaged in conversation with Helem. As everyone else moved, Ydir's gaze once again met Mick's. In his eyes, there seemed to be a fleeting glimpse of a mirage-like energy. I didn't get to ask you earlier, but are you an awakener? Oh, how did you figure it out so quickly when my power isn't even visible? Indeed, a person with the ability worthy of a hero of the Great Serene Forest is different in every way. I'm naturally a bit sensitive to energy. Responding calmly, Ydir lowered his voice so that only Mick could hear. I don't know what ability you possess, but I'm feeling uneasy as I sense energy every time you look at me. Did you feel that? That's not just a little sensitivity, that's impressive. Mick sincerely admired Ydir and then obediently answered. My ability allows me to look inside others. Since it's activated through my eyes, it's not easy to control. If something bothers me, I unintentionally exert my power. Sorry if it was unpleasant. Inside? You mean organs or energy? Although I can see energy to some extent, it's neither of those. How should I describe it? The man who had been scratching his head looked at Ydir once again with renewed intensity, and this time a mirage visibly flickered around his eyes. What I see is, let's say, like the core inside the shell, but your core is quite unique, the most special one I have ever seen among all the people I have met. What could have been so peculiar to be considered the most unique among all the people he had seen so far? Unable to understand, Ydir furrowed his brows slightly, to which Mick quietly said, There are many holes inside you, so many empty spaces that they are countless. A powerful throb resonated somewhere deep within his chest. Surprise and caution raised their heads simultaneously inside Ydir. Suppressing a chilling sensation, Ydir made an effort not to reveal any change in expression and sealed his lips without a word. ... Well, it doesn't mean it looks dangerous. Since I haven't looked into the hearts of everyone in the world, there might be someone with even stranger contents than you, assistant. Perhaps your power is too strong, or it may be an after effect of an injury. So don't worry. After cheerfully spitting out words of comfort or something, Mick patted Yudhir's shoulder. I want to hear directly from you about the monster you caught in the Great Serene Forest next time we meet. In fact, that's one of the things I have been looking forward to most. Understood. Despite Yudhir's curt response, Mick was delighted. Great, great. I must prepare some fine wine for that day. I will treat you in a manner worthy of Shuden's name. Both Mick and Helm were unique in many ways. That fact had made Kishir feel slightly strange in a meeting he had never had in his previous life, even among his own people. Still, it's not a bad feeling. On the way back to the mansion after leaving Anon, Kishir quietly informed Yudhir of the next schedule. I will prepare to meet with Baron Wilhelm and the priest of the Western Sun God Temple as soon as I return. I am thinking of including Priest Lusan. Can you summon him? Understood. It was a good thing, as Yudhir had to hear about Marty and Robel from Lusan. Upon arrival, Yudhir went to Lusan but stopped in his tracks at the unexpected sight of Robel, who was caring for the memory lost ones. He was helping out here. He hadn't expected Robel's assistance, even though some members who were helping Lusan were absent for the task. The two people who noticed Yudhir's gaze turned their heads and approached with welcoming expressions. Master Yudhir, what brings you here? The commander wants to see Priest Lusan, but what's going on here? Is it a positive outcome? Lusan managed an awkward smile, although Yudhir's vague expression referred to Robel and Marty's situation. No, it's rather the opposite. So we have decided to seek this gentleman's assistance. The opposite? Robel, who met Yudhir's gaze, made a bitter expression. Lusan explained on his behalf. Marty has responded that she doesn't want to see Robel right now. She seems quite confused after hearing Robel's situation, so we decided to give her more time to think. I see. But thankfully, Master Yudhir, or rather Mr. Yudhir, you warned us first. If I had heard without any preparation, really, I wouldn't have known how to respond. Robel interjected softly and then looked at the closed door. It was the room where those who had regained their memories were staying. I have decided to keep waiting since all I can do is wait. But I couldn't do nothing, so I asked to help the priest, who needed assistance. His response was clear, even if weak. The fact that he hadn't given up everything despite Marty's rejection was positive. Lusan seemed to think the same and continued to look at Robel as he spoke. Although those who have lost their memories don't recognize Mr. Robel, facing a familiar face seems to help with a quicker recovery, so I accepted. However, I'm being careful not to let him encounter Marty or others who have regained their memories. That should be fine, Yudhir nodded, expressing his intention to fully respect Lusan's judgment. But I won't just keep working. When you go to look for Nahan, please take me with you. Have you had any contact from that side since you came here? No, not at all. I heard that he left his usual lodging and fled, but I have no idea where he might have gone next. I'm sorry, I couldn't be of help even though I promised to cooperate. Robel's eyes were filled with anger as he spoke. It seemed that capturing Nahan was his only revenge and atonement towards Marty. Then, Robel, as I said earlier, please feed everyone here and then turn the wheelchairs in the direction. Yudhir and I will be back shortly. Lusan looked at Robel with a touch of regret before instructing the remaining tasks and turning with Yudhir. They headed in the direction of the lodging where Kishir might be, chatting along the way. Robel has been very cooperative. He wants to help more from the first time we spoke. He's apprehensive about the cavalry, but he doesn't seem hostile. That's fortunate. It's all thanks to you, Yudhir. Lusan casually praised Yudhir, but from Yudhir's perspective, Lusan's attitude was even more admirable. Even though things had improved, having the mental strength to act so magnanimously towards an awakener who was part of the group that had harmed him, like Nahan, was an impossible feat for an ordinary mind. Ah, and quite a few letters have been delivered from the Great Serene Forest in the capital. There might be a letter for you too, Yudhir, so check it later. I got one too. Is that so? I will have to check. He had previously written a brief reply to the letter sent by his colleagues left in the Great Serene Forest. It was about time for a response to start trickling back in. In the lodging to which Yudhir and Lusan returned, besides Kishir and Nathan Zuckerman, there was one more guest. The guest stood up and smiled warmly at Yudhir as soon as he saw him. It's been a while. It was none other than the head of the Western Mage Union, Miklan Pant.